Welcome back to The Shed Show, the show that's in the shed. Today's episode is gonna go down in history. We have the one, the only, Bennett Maxwell in the house. Bennett, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. Excited to be here in the shed.
I know. When he first got here, he was like, wow, it's a shed.
I get it now.
Well, I think he didn't realize how low production we are.
I know. Low production?
Bro,
Oh, sorry.
Have you seen these mics, man? I got a green mic and pink headphones on, bro.
You're like, I didn't know this is my daughter's show. No, Bennett is the founder of Dirty Dough, and we're just so happy that he's in the house today. We also have the amazing Jameson Smith, a head graphic designer, and she specializes in brand marketing, so we're very lucky to have her in here today as well.
Very excited to be here. Thank you.
I'm glad you found time in your schedule.
Yeah, I usually don't have any time, so.
Yeah.
I know, you just barely came in from St. George last night.
Yep, I drove until midnight, so.
Like something crazy, like...
I was buying a dog.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Dog
You
that you just showed up with?
That's the dog.
You couldn't get it shipped or something?
No.
Amazon?
No.
Yeah.
That
Ordering
doesn't
dogs
exist
from
out
Amazon?
there.
So kind of jumping into this is our third and final episode of Cookie Wars. And I don't know if you watched any of the other episodes. Only one is kind of dropped. We're dropping the next one this Wednesday, and then this episode's going to come out the following Wednesday. But really, we just kind of dove into what is going on in the Utah Valley right now. And it was just on a whim. We're like, what's a funny idea that we can do? Like, should we just like taste test all these cookies? So we did. And out of the stinking blue, Bennett, like, he liked the post or whatever, and we're like, no freaking way is this guy that cool to actually see what we're doing here.
I don't know if you watched the full podcast, but in the middle of it, I said, if you comment on our LinkedIn, we will ask you to be on the show.
I didn't watch it. But I do try to look at everything out there and at least like the post.
Well, did you see the verdict?
Comment on there.
Did you watch the end of the video of what our verdict was with our favorite cookie?
I did. I scrolled to the very end, but
I was about to say, this is going to be really awkward if you didn't.
No, I didn't. Because it wasn't in the last minute. So I was like, oh, I don't want to watch the whole thing.
Well, it was no surprise. For those of you
Okay.
who didn't watch, we all thought that the best cup was Crumble's cup.
The best cup?
Yeah, so we tested the cookies in a cup. So we had, like, they were labeled one. If you would have watched the middle of the video, Bennett.
Do you know who this guy is?
We blind taste tested all of the cookies, and so we guessed, and then there was an envelope, so we didn't know what these cookies were. My wife wrote down all the numbers beforehand, and Benji wrote off the results, and we're like,
was it a red Solo cup?
it was a red Solo
Yes,
cup.
it was a red
That was my idea. I posted about serving cookies in a red Solo cup about a month ago, so you guys better watch out.
Oh no, are we gonna get sued?
No, literally, somebody sent me a picture of a cookie with spam inside of it. So I posted it and I said, Crumbl, is this different enough for you? And we're going to serve it in a red Solo cup. So I love that you guys did the red Solo cup.
But we taste tested all of them, and we're like, yeah, the best cup is it's Crumbl, right? And Benji was like, no, and you read it, he's like, it's Dirty Dough. We're like, my whole world was blown up. I didn't even sleep that night. I was just so shook.
Yeah, okay. You don't need to kiss his butt.
You're overselling. He's here. He's in the shed already.
Like, I'm already here, so.
But jumping right into things, you did not start off as a cookie connoisseur. Am I correct? Like, that's
No.
not, you didn't grow up and say, I want to be the cookie man.
I still don't consider myself the cookie man. I've never made a batch of Dirty Dough cookies. Never. Too dumb for that.
Let's go. No, you know what your strengths are. There's a big difference.
There you go.
Kind of going into this, where is your background? What makes Bennett Maxwell? Like, what kind of inspired you to kind of go down this venture?
Sales. I mean, I was just always been in like that straight commission. I mean, we're in Utah, right? Door to door sales. And when it's straight commission, you're kind of running your own business, because if you don't make sales, you don't make money. If you don't recruit, you don't make overrides. If they don't sell, if you don't train correctly. So you're kind of like an entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneur in somebody else's business. Anyways, when I saw Dirty Dough, I consider myself as more of a sales profession, even though I own Dirty Dough now, because what I'm doing is seeing what sells, like what's the most sellable franchise model. I'm going to go create that. And I kind of know what people want and what people buy, and then I'm talking to them. So typically in business, you create a product and you try to sell it. And after working for Vivint, I heard Vivint's not a security company. They are a sales organization that sells security. So that's kind of how I view myself now. I'm like, no, I'm a sales, like Dirty Dough's a sales company, and we happen to sell cookie franchises. And then to make that model, I mean, we obviously have to do all the back end ops, but that's how I view it.
Well, I was doing some research on you. I listened to 3 podcasts,
All right.
and it sounded like some of your first sales experience was selling banners for football.
Yeah.
What would you say is like the biggest win, like the biggest banner you sold? Like, did you go sell Texas Roadhouse, or did you?
No, I don't even remember the company. I remember where it was at, 800 South in Orem, maybe a block east of the freeway, and I just cold knocked it. I just went knocking on businesses, and they bought it. So I got to go to football camp that year.
You took a very negative thing that was happening to you in a handful of other companies, and you turned it on its head and made it more of a positive thing. How did you decide to go forward with that and do that with Dirty Dough?
Well, it's kind of forced upon me as far as like the lawsuit was, filed in May. Nobody knew about it till KSL picked it up. But once KSL picked it up, I'm like, okay, well, if it's out there, I may as well be the one telling the story. Mm-hmm. So I jumped on it at that point, but it wasn't like, oh, people on social media might like this. That never crossed my mind. But once it was out there, and I'm like, yeah, everybody thinks this is a joke, and it actually is a joke. So I'm just gonna run with that and kind of make fun of it and make fun of myself a little bit while I'm doing it. So that's the route we've been going.
So how did they serve you? Did they like show up to your house, or like did they just go up to like
No.
a
They
random
gave him a
place?
cookie. It was inside a cookie.
No, they baked it inside of a giant cookie. No, I mean they just gave it to my attorney. So I didn't even know. I got an email from him, and he was like, "Hey,
You're getting sued.
you're getting sued."
See, they
I'm
really
like,
need
"What?"
to. They need to really commit to these cookie wars. They have to do something like send you a cookie, but then like you open it up and then
and it's a
lights on.
bomb.
It's getting dark.
I thought they were going to
dark.
light it
That's
on
where I
fire
thought you
in
were
front.
going. I'm sorry.
So them sending us cookies, I forgot who. Somebody messaged me on LinkedIn or something. They're like, all the franchise sales, every time you sign another store that somebody found out about you through the lawsuit, you should send Crumbl a rose. And I love the idea. Ran it by the attorney. He's like, nah. He shut it down. But I was ready to go. I was going to send him a single box of a Dirty Dough cookie with a rose. And we're at 90, I think. Since the lawsuit hit, we were at 90 franchise sales. And in 2 months, we've doubled it. We sold another 90 stores. So I would have... I mean, I need to start paying them back for all the marketing they're doing for me.
Yeah, no kidding.
We do our
Commission.
we do our marketing. We do our marketing through EKR agency out of Provo, and Adam Stoker's the owner. It was just like last week. I texted him. I'm like, dude, why do we even need you? We have Crumbl.
Oh my!
Like Crumbl's doing all the marketing for us. Like, what are you guys doing, Adam? I mean, Adam's awesome. I was just joking with him, but that man, you couldn't ask for better exposure than this, especially when. People are like, oh, Dirty Dough. And then they like look you up and they see how different the product is. They're like, okay, just like looking at a 3-layer cookie versus a cookie with an inch of frosting, like, wow, that's completely different. Mm-hmm. And then they click on our franchise page and then, which we explain our back-end model, which is 100% different than Crumbl's. And like, oh, we operate out of half the square footage, half the labor, centralized production, all of that. So it's really helped us out because it got people's foot in the door out of curiosity. And then for whatever reason, our processes or our unique cookies, it kept them there, and then they ended up buying franchises. So, hasn't been a bad deal for us.
Yeah.
All these
what do you
warm
say?
leads coming in.
It's been crazy. We've sold franchises since December, and we haven't spent $1 on marketing.
I love that.
Yeah.
So does your marketing firm just hate you right now?
Well, they do a great job marketing the cookies to the end consumer. My marketing is towards the franchisees.
So you said 100 and something plus, which is amazing. Is this just all across the United States? Is it just people everywhere that are hearing about the cookie wars? Is it spreading that much?
Yeah, it's weird. Who is it? I mean, I think it was 9 states that picked it up, like local articles in 9 states. And then a lot of people are from Utah and buying in other spots. Like yesterday, somebody flew in from Indiana. He wants to buy 23 stores. It was Monday.
23,
Somebody
so-
flew in from Dallas. So yeah, I mean they're coming from everywhere. Majority of them are still Utah, but no, it's going everywhere. We've made it into this week as well. BYU in one of their business schools. Somebody's like, oh, we were just talking about the lawsuit, and then in Weaver State they were talking about the lawsuit as well. So
Have you been invited to like come and teach there?
no, I am gonna. So I dropped out of UVU, but they're like, we love seeing successful alumni.
Yeah.
Come speak, and I'm like, I don't know if I dropped out, but sure.
You should ask them for like I know that they gave Mitt Romney an honorary doctorates, even though they don't have a doctorates program. You could ask for something. Hey, can I get an honorary master's?
Bennett, milk them for all their worth.
I did speak there. There was a startup conference at UVU last week I spoke at, and then American Fork. I mean, I'm really big into the entrepreneurship and kind of giving back. So I spoke with the American Fork High School this week as well, just like their entrepreneur DECA, I think is what it was called. He's like, it's the worst name ever, but we do business lead. I don't know. He'd name like 5 acronyms and
I remember DECA.
I did DECA, yeah.
Yeah, they're like
wait, was
just
DECA marketing or is it
one
the
of those
business
kids.
one? I forgot.
I think that's business.
Okay.
yeah, it's like a step above debate club.
Yeah.
If you were in,
or it's like just less weird.
yeah, they promise
Debate
you
was
scholarships and then you get nothing.
You get like a paper.
But
that says
DECA's still
you passed the
amazing, so
test.
you should still try.
Yes,
and
do DECA.
Oh, you're afraid that they're gonna come after you?
Everybody's
Not
just
me.
shitting on DECA
Not
right
me.
now.
Not me. Well, okay. So, what would be advice to anyone out there listening who is just like, I think I want to try this idea, or I want to get into franchises, but I'm scared about kind of maybe like the negative stuff that can come to me, or like anything like that? What would be your advice to them?
I mean, you kind of just have to jump in it anyway. We've changed our business model 100 times. So this week, not to jump back into the lawsuit, but we got all of Crumble's damning evidence. I'm like reading screenshots of text messages and something like that. But what it reminded me of about a year ago, maybe a year and 3 months ago, our plan was to sell franchises in groups of 5 and then have each franchisee, like their main location produces all the dough and then they ship it to their 4 location. And then somebody else told me that was the worst idea ever. But that was the idea at the time, right? And we started going with it. And then I told 100 people my idea. And then it was the owner of a brand called Everbowl. It's like an acai chain.
I love
It's a
Everbowl.
franchise. Okay, you know what it is. Jeff Fenster, he's like, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. You're going to fail. But the point is, like, I just went for it. So I bought the company. Then within a month, I opened up like a commercial kitchen. I had no idea. I didn't even have any equipment, nothing. I'm just like, let's just open it up and see. Because what's the worst that can happen? You know, I mean, it just takes longer. You lose a little money, whatever. But it's like, it's not the end of the world. So after that was like the first step. And then it was like, okay, well, now let's buy this machine. And it was like baby steps. And I had no idea what the plan was going to be. It was just like, let's keep taking action until something works. So that would be my advice, is just try it. It's probably not going to work, and that's okay. Then you pivot, and then you pivot again, and then you pivot again, and then you pivot again until you land on the right idea.
So take those baby steps, because if you don't take those, you're just going to be mad
Well, you're never
in your
going to come
parents'
up
basement.
with nobody's sitting down
and doing
these days. At least me, right? Like nobody's doing business plans and like, oh, I'm going to do this for 6 months, and even if you do, you're wrong. Like it's not going to work how you thought it was going to work. So maybe that's the door-to-door world. It's like the only way to get past the fear of knocking your first door is knocking your first door. Just get out there. Get your first FU of the day, and then you're good. Then move on to the next one.
So it sounds like door to door really calloused you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I knocked a lot of doors. I mean, I got tens of thousands of no's. I mean, it's not that common that you get an FU. Like, that was definitely not a daily thing. But you do learn to separate the, no, I don't like your product, where you initially feel, I hate you as a human being. Yeah, but it's really, no, I don't like your product, right? So you are able to separate those, and then it's like, okay, that's fine. I'm just going to go to the next one. And then I'm going to tweak my pitch a little bit. Whatever their objection was, now I'm going to bring it up on the next door before they bring it up, and learn from it.
Dang.
Good stuff. I tried door-to-door sales once for like a week. I hated it. Someone threatened to shoot me when I stepped on their property, and I was like,
I was just about to ask, what was your craziest story?
Yeah, someone threatened to shoot me because I stepped on their property.
Well, you're soft. They didn't even show the gun.
Yeah.
What?
So soft.
Yeah, stay.
What are you doing?
Trespassing, apparently.
Throw on a bulletproof vest next time. Let's go.
It's
it's
not
like, what's
real
going on?
until you get shot, okay?
It's not real until it actually happened.
Bennett, what was the craziest thing you saw knocking doors?
What I saw
what
an
happened to
old
you?
man's nutsack.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm walking up the stairs. So there's like maybe 5 stairs. And I look to the right. There's the window right before the door. And I look, and this dude just in a robe, just spreading it. And I'm just like,
Need solar.
but we made eye contact. So I have to knock on the door.
With his head, his face eyes, or his
right in the eyes.
Or his other single eye. No, I don't know if I saw that one. I didn't focus in on it. It was one of those like, oh shit, oh crap, I have to knock this door now.
Bennett, did you make the sale?
No.
What's it worth to you?
I did not make the sale, and I was just like,
Right after that, he started Dirty Dough.
There was no going back.
that was the inspiration for the name Dirty Dough.
Oh.
We need to send that guy a check.
Or just a cookie.
Send him a cookie with a rose.
Oh
rose
my
might be too
gosh.
much.
A little bit too much. Oh my gosh. Benji, do you have any crazy, weird door-to-door? We've all done sales.
Probably the funniest is a guy that he talked to me and I sold him while he was on the toilet.
Oh, that's interesting.
He told you he was on the toilet?
Yeah. He
Did
said,
you listen?
I
Listen
tried not
to what, Jameson? What?
Hey, can you put your phone?
Did you hone in?
Oh my god.
I think the craziest one was I just barely got into outside sales, and I roll up. It's just this rainy day.
Tell him where you sold for. Who did you sell for?
Boondocks, food and fun.
All right, let's go. Sounds pretty tough. Selling,
Whenever, you know what?
selling
Selling
kids
fun.
as the Wi-Fi.
That's where I got in trouble. I kept getting kicked out of school. No, it was for corporate events. I didn't work the go-karts, even though that's what Benji's family thinks I do.
He showed up to a family dinner, he said, and we were roasting him about not having a real job. And he said, I'm an adult. I work at Boondocks.
So I roll up. It's raining. It's one of those days where you just you put a lot of driving time in so that you don't have to hit a lot of places. It was one of those days. And so I roll up to this place. It was a trucking company. I walk in and I didn't know, but when you go to these trucking centers, like where all of them not coagulate's the wrong word. Where all of these awesome...
Coagulate? What does coagulate mean, dude? Like coagulating fats? That's
Kind of. A lot of truckers. No hate on truckers. I go into this place and...
No hate on truckers.
No hate on
They
truckers.
coagulate.
No hate on they could. They have showers here because when you live the truck life, you need a shower sometimes, and there's not a lot of showers at gas stations anymore. At the big ones.
What's going on?
I saw a naked man. I saw a naked old bearded man while I was trying to sell something. And that's what happened. And I got the sale though, not by that guy, by his boss. That's the craziest thing I ever saw.
I've been your friend for 13 years. You've never told me that.
It's one of those stories you don't tell.
trauma.
It's one of those
trauma
stories you
coming
don't
out
tell.
to the surface.
We lived together for a whole year while he was working there, and he never told me that.
Didn't come up till now. Didn't come up till the ball story. Bennett.
You're welcome for inspiring you.
Put it on a
You
t-shirt.
should start a cookie company.
I should. If I were to start a cookie company right now, what would I call it? What would my thing be? If you were being a cookie consultant.
Cookie consultant. I like that.
I'm telling you, I'm the cookie guys, but I'm trying to think of a joke that's not too inappropriate with your naked man with a beard story. You could do it. Harry cookie balls. As long as you put a cookie in there.
It's like that
then
Ben
you're
and Jerry
good.
thing.
And then I don't sell cookies. I just sell those. What do they sell at Starbucks?
No, you can't do that.
Oh.
Because if Crumbl turns the logo upside down, they're going to sue you, bro.
Oh, no.
Balls and cookies have already been done. It's just subliminal.
It's a... So I'm done. I can't do anything.
No.
Cookie game is closed.
I think you actually just got sued by them.
Just now.
You fake sue people just to help their marketing.
Yep. Yeah, people have accused us of that. And I'm like, yeah, maybe that's what's happening.
You just let them think of whatever story I was about to say.
Tell the attorneys that, and they'll maybe stop billing us. You know what I mean? But no,
gosh.
people they're like, this is just a big marketing ploy. I'm like, that would actually be pretty smart.
You're like, yep, all me.
You're like,
All
I
me.
wish
I'm
I
a
thought of
genius.
that.
Yeah.
like, I wish I was a Kardashian faking schemes like that.
You just got Christ.
Wrapping things up, how long do you think that this trajectory of this lawsuit, how long do you think it's going to survive?
So if it actually goes to trial, it's like 2 years, just because that's standard. I think there's a almost 0% chance it's going to go to trial because, I mean, I told you I have all their evidence now, and it doesn't exist. So it's now Crumbl's playing the game of, okay, shit, we messed up. How do we fix this? How do we fix the PR? You know, and I don't know. You've seen their LinkedIn post. They're hiring a Utah PR specialist and a customer crisis manager.
Yeah, I
2
applied to
full-time
both.
positions, and another corporate attorney. So maybe they get someone with some brains and they're gonna help them through this. But I think that they're just in a tough spot because the lawsuit went out, and then they're like, oh wait, you can't sue people for using sprinkles on cookies. Now it's exposed. Now what do we do? Well, and then they doubled down, and then they tripled down, And then they submitted us all the evidence, and it's like, you guys are screwed. Like, what are you doing here? Anyway, so I don't know. 2 years if it actually goes to trial, but I would put less than 5% chance that it actually goes that far.
Less than 5. Wow.
Dang.
Well, I saw that they bought 5 billboards this last week. I don't know why I pay attention to billboards, but that's kind of like my thing.
I do too. It's okay.
But they put up 5 billboards of just cookies, no words, just cookies. So maybe they're trying to.
They're out of words. They've used their words for today.
They actually got a decent amount of backlash because they're like 1 million cookies sold a day, and then people were like, "That's pretty arrogant that you're doing that while you're suing startups." You know, like you're bragging about how big you are while you're suing 7 different companies, most of them with 1 or 2 stores.
Well, screw them.
We get their box and burn it. Oh my God. Bennett, one last thing before you get out of here. If anybody's looking at franchising with Dirty Dough, like what would you say to them if they're on the edge of their seats right now and they somehow find this video and they're watching all the way to the end, the Shed Show?
So like I was watching the Shed Show thinking about franchising. Glad Bennett came on.
And
Yeah, is that what this show is about? Is franchising?
What if we just make a turn? It's franchising. What's your words of encouragement to them?
Well, I mean, just franchising in general, I'll speak to that. I mean, it's a good model because you're buying a game plan, and Dirty Dough's model is, taking that franchise of lowering the barrier of entry to entrepreneurship even further because we're like half the cost of a Crumbl to get going, half the labor, half the man hours, running the store. But I mean, just start looking into it a little bit. I guess you're given a game plan that's been working for other people, so supposedly that reduces risk.
So, long story short, if you don't buy Dirty Dough as a franchise, you're an idiot. There you go.
That's exactly.
Yeah,
what I
if
was trying
you
to get
have
across.
$100,000, just throw at something. I don't actually know how much it costs. Just throw it at that.
It's your best option. 401ks are garbage. It's Dirty
You're
Dough.
not gonna
That's what you're
retire.
retiring. You're retiring off of Dirty Dough.
Thank you, thanks guys. Thanks for the
Everyone's
plug.
doing the marketing for
I
Dirty
will
Dough
send
except
you guys
Dirty Dough.
cookies. Payment and cookies.
At the very end of this video, we put your logo. All right. Thank you so much, Bennett, and we'll catch you at hopefully one of your Dirty Dough stores.
Sounds good, man.
Bye.